Thank you very much, and I am truly honored today. I want to thank you, Chairman Lamb and the Board of Trustees. I want to thank District Attorney Conley, President Kelly, Dean Perlman, Provost Royo, particularly Professor Callahan. Thank you very much, and congratulations on your esteemed career. Vice President Nucci, and all the faculty and staff of Suffolk University Law School. I'm certainly grateful for this honor. A Doctor of Law from Suffolk University. Usually you get a Suffolk Law degree, then you go into politics. I'm doing it completely backwards. But I've always done a different path for my education, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Before I get to the amazing graduates in front of me, I want to recognize your families and loved ones, your moms and dads, sisters and brothers, grandparents, aunts and uncles, and not forgetting sons and daughters. You should be very proud. And I invite you all to take a moment to think about those who helped us on our journey, who couldn't be here today for some reason. Most of all, I want to congratulate every member of the 2017 graduating class at Suffolk Law School. Congratulations to those who did in the daytime. Congratulations to those who did it in the evening program. However you got there, I know you worked hard. I know that you all sacrificed. And I know that you have people who are counting on you. I have worked with many Suffolk Law graduates over the years, at the State House as a state representative, in City Hall, in nonprofits, in labor unions. I currently have staff working for Suffolk Law degrees in the evening program who work with me at City Hall. Suffolk Law graduates come to City Hall to provide free legal advice to immigrants at our Office of Immigrant Advancement. I want to thank you for that. Our Office of Labor Relations is led by 2 Suffolk Law graduates, Alexis Kachuk and Anne Marie Noonan. They're negotiating contracts for more than 15,000 City of Boston employees as we talk right now. The Boston School Department's Chief Legal Counsel is Elisa Ocasio, another Suffolk Law grad. We have several Suffolk Law grads in our law department. Sammy DeBulsi. Sammy's from the class of 2014. 3 years ago, he was hanging out at Sidebar. Now he's leading our city's legal response to the White House executive order on immigration. I think Sammy's here unless his wife's gone into labor, in case he's somewhere else. From City Hall to the State House, from the neighborhoods to nonprofits, everywhere that attorneys are working hard to protect the vulnerable and make our city more just, Suffolk Law grads are leading the way. That's no surprise. This school was founded in 1906 to provide working people with the opportunity to study law. That's a meaningful starting point. And the reality today is just as meaningful. It's one that all of you, in one way or another, are living. Those of you who work in jobs, those of you who raise children, those of you who are military veterans or reservists, I salute and thank all of you. Those of you who have overcome personal struggles, those of you who have come thousands of miles away to learn and study here, those of you who will be the first lawyers in your family. Whatever your story, whatever your focus, you didn't come to Suffolk Law because it was the next thing to do. You chose Suffolk for a reason. More often than not, that reason is something greater than your own ambition. That is the reason, your vision of good public service. Everyone knows Suffolk produces attorneys ready for public service. But it's more than a great location next to the State House. And it goes beyond government service. It's students and professors who know that law can change lives and that law can save lives. I'm incredibly impressed by how many of you spent your time at Suffolk, not just preparing your own legal careers, but providing legal services for those who need it the most. Together, this class, the class in front of me, the class of 2017, performed more than 23,000 hours of pro bono work. Give yourselves a hand for that. You work with prosecutors and public defenders. You help veterans get services. You helped immigrants get on a path to citizenship. You counseled Native American tribes. You work to defend the dignity and the rights of gay, lesbian, and transgender people. On the housing discrimination team, you partnered with Boston's Fair Housing Commission to uncover bias against transgender applicants and others. 20 of you worked in the Marshall Brennan Constitutional Literacy Project. You taught Boston Public School students about constitutional law and became powerful mentors during that process. Together as a class, you have already made our city and our country stronger, more just, and more equal. I came here to deliver a call to service. Maybe I should do less talking and more listening. This law school, this community is deeply committed to serving others, to expanding access to legal services, and to use the law to help the underdog and carve out a more equitable in our march towards equality and an equal society. I hope you can add further from this perspective from my own experience. There are 2 points that I want to make. As you think about your future as law students and graduates, one is our nation's need for a spirit of service today, maybe more than ever. We face challenges that aren't going to be fixed themselves. Income and wealth inequality are at record highs. There's not enough access to health care and affordable housing, to education and job opportunities, or to legal representation. We need our political system and government institutions operating at 100% for the public good if we're going to tackle these issues as a nation. But too often, when we look to our national government, we see Washington focused not on Washington, but on everything else. We see fixation on winning and losing instead of serving people and solving problems. In too many ways, our political culture has adopted a failed ideology. It's one that sees individual success alone as the American dream. I don't see it that way. Evidence is mounting today, as it has at times in the past, the selfless and self-destructiveness. For our democracy and our system to work, people must believe in our institutions are more than means to personal gain. We need people at every level of government and in the private sector whose skills and ambition are grounded in the notions of a higher good, who have ethical baselines that they will not cross for partisan purposes or personal gain, who understands what it means to serve. The second point I want to make is about how to grow a career through service. I'm not here to tell you today to go work for the government, although I'd love to have all of these graduates working in government. Public service comes in many forms. It starts wherever you are and whatever you're doing, no matter how humble your first job or your second job or your third job is. If you give yourself to serve others, you will have an impact. You will move in the direction of your dreams. That was my experience. As was mentioned earlier, I grew up in Dorchester. My parents were immigrants from Ireland who came to this country looking for a better life. Seeing in that same community at the age of 7, I was diagnosed with Burkitt's lymphoma. I had cancer, but my neighborhood, my church, and my community rallied around my family. As I got older, I actually went to Suffolk University for a semester. I dropped out. I shouldn't have, but I did. But if I didn't drop out, I might not have an honorary law degree, so I'm not sure which was good, but we'll see. But when I dropped out of school, I went to work construction because I thought that's what I wanted to do. During that time in construction, as I got older in life, I developed a drinking problem, which had brought me to my knees, which forced me to go into detox, to deal with the issue of addiction and alcoholism. I was able to recover because of the community around me, because of my family and my friends in the recovery community and the entire community of Dorchester. I began to serve my community, being involved in the civic association, local civic association, coaching basketball in little leagues, and getting involved. eventually being elected to the Massachusetts House of Representatives and listening to the needs of a community. Goods, jobs that support families and strong schools. And I got a chance to work on programs, access to substance abuse programs, treatment, homeless services. And I was able to take my own personal experiences and use them in my life to do good. These opportunities that I was able to come across to serve on a local level led me to places and people I could never have dreamed of. As mayor, I've been able to serve with dedication and compassion for people all across our city, the state, and the world. We've been working together, collectively, working on stopping human trafficking. We've been working to help young gang-involved youth and adults leave the streets and begin a career. I've been working with District Attorney Dan Conley in his office on that. Instead of locking people up, we're trying to lift people up. We're working to create more affordable housing. And one of the things that I'm most proud of is working to achieve that we ended chronic veterans homelessness in the city of Boston, which means over 800 chronically homeless veterans who used to live on our streets in 2014, 15, and 16, now are living in an apartment of their own. And we're on track in the city of Boston to end all chronic homelessness by the end of 2018. We did this by bringing everyone together who serves the homeless, and we used the power of service. So in my life, I didn't take a smooth path or a straight path. It was filled with obstacles. It took twists and it took turns. There were times when I wasn't sure what the outcome would be, but I kept going and I learned from my mistakes. I accepted help and I reached out to others. And I had the faith and the spirit of service would lead me to my dreams. And that's what exactly happened in my life. Wherever your degree takes you, you will play a vital role in your community. And you probably already do. Today, if it hasn't happened already, you will become the person that your family, your friends, your neighbors come to for legal advice on tough questions and tough situations, and they're not gonna pay you. Some of what you're gonna be facing is a friend facing discrimination, a family member in trouble, a neighbor's child in need of services. Being a Suffolk lawyer is a lot like being an elected official. Everyone has your number, and that's okay. That's why you do it. When I talk to young kids in class, when I talk to 8th grade graduates, when I talk to high school graduates, when I talk to college graduates, and now I'm for the first time talking to law school graduates, we all have dreams inside of us. The dreams that you have inside of you may one day change the world. As graduates of Suffolk Law School, that's no exaggeration. The legal profession offers unrivaled opportunities, not just to help people, but to empower people, to make lasting change, to balance the scales of justice, to win presidents that help thousands or millions take control of their own destiny. Let me leave you with one more example. It comes from a dramatic scene I was involved with earlier this year. On January 28th, word got out that immigrants, despite having valid visas, were being detained at Logan Airport simply because of their country of origin. The travel ban signed by the White House the day before was suddenly brutally enforced. I'm not here to make a political statement, but I won't hide my position either. I went to Logan Airport to show my support to see if I could help. But I was not the first one there, and I wasn't the person they needed the most. The lawyers were the hero that night. The lawyers that night left social events and their families at home to rush to the airport, to find clients, to file for injunctions, to find a judge to hear them. Just before 2 a.m. on Sunday morning, they succeeded. And they continue to succeed to this day, fighting for justice through our democratic legal institutions. Among the leading attorneys was a woman named Susan Church. She's the president of the American Immigration Lawyers Association, and she is also a Suffolk Law grad. She and her colleagues led the lawsuit against the immigration ban in federal court. It's one the city of Boston has been proud to support with the help of Suffolk grads like Sammy, who I talked about earlier. These attorneys right here in Boston found themselves at the point where national policy was being contested and the American justice was being defined. Years of hard work and humble service on behalf of clients rated them to answer the call of history. They were ready to act. That night, the last person to be released was a graduate student from Tufts University studying international relations. She was afraid to walk out to the taxi, so I walked her out to the taxi, and we spoke. Later, she sent me a letter. As a Kurdish woman living from Iraq, she said that the passion for justice she witnessed that night is what her home country needs, anything more. And she added, I quote, "From the bottom of my heart, I hope Boston will accept me as a good citizen and a member of its community." The lawyers who dropped everything that night not only helped free people and helped individual people, they earned respect for our democracy around the world. I know that many of you are uncertain about your futures and your careers. I am here to say that every one of you have the reason to be confident and full of hope. All you need to do is seize the spirit of service you felt here at Suffolk and take it with you wherever you go. When I was 13 years old, I had a dream of becoming the mayor of Boston. It was a simple act of service like coaching a team, showing up for a community meeting, or giving somebody a ride to a detox that forged my dream. Susan Church and Sammy Nabulsi not long ago were like you, wondering about their future. Now they are in the front lines of history. Many of you are already standing with them. Law school was hard. You have more work ahead. If you do it in the spirit of service, you will live your dreams one way or another. You will keep learning to serve from your mentors and colleagues and clients in every walk of life every single day. You will discover higher goals, greater possibilities, and new and bigger dreams. And you will change the world. Thank you and congratulations to all of you, the class of 2017.